You want to think you can threaten me with no consequences? Enjoy jail time. I used to work at a gas station. Me being only 20 at the time, I needed a job since I was new to my area after moving from one state to another, and the job was good. The manager, she was awesome. She was the sweetest thing before she left, and the manager after was just as awesome before I moved to a new apartment, but the previous assistant manager when I started working there, let's call him Richard for obvious reasons. And let's call the first manager Angel. Obviously not real name. Richard was known to be very hostile, creepy ass when not around the manager, and made us try to do his load of the work and blamed us for being lazy when we couldn't do it and our jobs fast enough. My coworkers and I had brought the situation to the higher ups numerous times, and as much as she wanted us to be heard, Angel couldn't do anything. And it came to a boiling point 2 months down the line on my end. Little fact about me, I am timid, I am autistic, and I get very stressed when someone threatens me with my life. I get very sick to my core and lack of breathing if I have to deal with that, and I used that to my advantage. On the shift I was supposed to be working that day, I had asked my friend Cross, not real name, if I could borrow his speaker to listen to my music. My manager said as long as I can do my job behind the register, and Cross was okay with it, I can listen to my music, and I asked specifically if I can borrow it to take home for a couple of days until my new speaker came in that I bought with the previous paycheck. Cross said okay, and shift change happened and Richard came in. He sees me listening to my music and he asked me to play his music from his phone on Cross speaker. I said no, the speaker is mine for the next couple of days and I don't want to be held responsible for any damages. He then whispers under his breath for me to hear, but for the cameras in the store to not pick up, I have a knife, you know. And I basically in a single moment and quickly too came up with a way to end his bullshit. The revenge. I yelled at him loud enough to him so the camera can pick it up, knowing that he would have to say something to defend himself. Why are you threatening me with a knife? And I kinda had a mixture of fear if he actually had one, and determination to make this man suffer for me and my coworkers' verbal abuse and sexual harassment for the past couple of months. He backs away and said, hey, it was just a joke, chill out. And I knew I had to do something because at that point I said, a joke, huh? Here's a good joke, have fun working alone, I quit. I walked out, called my mother who I lived with nearby, explained the situation in tears after the adrenaline and fear finished its ends. And I then was told and called my manager to explain to her the situation. I then told her that I knew he had the knife on him because I saw a pocket knife in the office and it was a custom one with his name on it. Me and my mom, after she picked me up and took me back to the store to talk with my manager, I wound up in a situation with the manager, the branch manager, and the district manager asking about what happened. And I explained it again, calmer now, in full, and they asked if I was okay. I told them, no, I have a guy who has been sexually harassing my other coworkers, verbally assaulting me and the others, try and threaten an autistic person who did nothing except say no to using a speaker, get threatened with a knife. I do not feel safe with him around. They asked me about the speaker, I called Cross and he confirmed I asked to borrow the speaker overnight and backed me up with what the assistant manager has done in the past, and at that point, police were called. They checked the cameras and heard me yelling about the knife, and after a few months, I come to learn he got fired from his last job and arrested for them finding out he was in jail for threatening physical harm to a disabled person, sexual harassment, sexual assault, and unauthorized concealed weapon. He wanted a speaker, he got a speaker. A few speakers on a podium who put his ass in jail about a week after. Threaten my family for standing on your grass? Enjoy your fines from the city for your broken down garage. We live next to a large open grass field. There is an old house on the property, but it's condemned and no one lives there. The owner of the property only shows up to mow the field, but does nothing else with the property. The garage beside the house is caving in on itself and just looks like trash. People walk through the field to go fish on the river, walk their dogs, or just wander. Most people think it's just city public property. A few days ago, we were outside playing with our dog and toddler. They were walking a few feet off our driveway, which is technically his property. He just happened to be driving by and pulled over and began yelling and was just in general overly aggressive. He yelled that we need to stay on our own property. He accused us of tossing cigarette butts, we don't smoke, and beer cans, we're never drinking outside, all over the field. He also yelled that we drive all over his field causing mud puddles. Again, completely not true. He then pointed to our dog and complained that she needs to stay off his grass. In the past, he has specifically said he did not care if our dog walked on the field. He proceeded to say if he found any dog shit anywhere, he was going to retaliate against us and we are not going to like it. This all happened within a few minutes. My boyfriend took the toddler and the dog inside and came back out to try to talk to him and sort out these crazy accusations, and the guy had already left. We called the police to document the incident since he did make a threat. We're now looking into getting cameras and a way to get a fence up. Since the other neighbors also play with their dogs in the field and strangers walk through all the time, he cannot blame us for any evidence of dogs being present, but that won't stop him from blaming us anyways, and I don't know what he means by retaliate. I've never been bothered by the shitty house on the property, not my business or problem, but since he wants to be an asshole, suddenly I'm super bothered about it. So I called the city code enforcement office and filed a complaint. Said I've been seeing wild animals coming and going from the building, and that I see kids walk through the field all the time and I worry someone's gonna get hurt. And that my neighbors are also upset about this too. Now all of this is true, but I just frankly never gave a shit until now. He now has 30 days to either demolish the whole thing or fix it up. It's definitely beyond fixing, or he has to appear in front of a judge. The city will fine him severely, and if action still isn't taken, they will seize the property from him entirely. You wanna scream at my family in front of my toddler and threaten my dog? I think you're gonna be a little too busy now with the city breathing down your neck. Enjoy your fines, court costs, and construction bills. Please don't park in my driveway. I live next door to an apartment building, and where their parking lot ends and my driveway starts, there are concrete slabs to show where one ends and the other starts. I even have a sign at the end of the driveway saying private parking, not apartment parking. There's lots of room for all tenants and their visitors, so they don't need to park on my property at all. I called the apartment building landlord and complained a few times because people parking in my yard. He said he has signs all around the building where people can park, visitor parking and tenant parking, which he does. He said if they park on my property to call a tow company. I woke up one morning to go to work and couldn't get out because some jackmole had parked in my driveway. I called a towing company from a totally different city about 3 hours away. I couldn't wait for them because of work, but asked if they would call when they were all hooked up and I will come home to make sure it's done. I only live 5 minutes from work and my boss allowed me to go take care of this. When I got home, the car was already loaded onto a flatbed and was just pulling out when the owner of the car came running out hollering for the truck to stop. He didn't. Then the guy looked at me and was very hostile and said, "This is all your fault. You will be paying to get my car back." I just laughed at him and pointed at my sign saying no parking or vehicle will be towed at owner's expense. I had already called the police as well to see if I could do it legally, and they told me since I have had signage up for over a year that nothing can be done against me. I told the guy where he can get his car back and was pissed to say the least. I backed out and went back to work. After work, the landlord came to see me. He said the guy tried to complain to him and telling him it will either be one of us or both, but someone will be paying to get his car back. He was told the tow charge alone was around $800 because of the distance and $150 a day storage until it is picked up. I know he got his car back because I saw it parked in the visitors parking a couple of days later. It is funny how after this happened, I have not had another person park in my driveway again. I still get the stink eye every time that guy sees me. I smile and wave each time because I am an a-hole like that.